Hey everyone, today's video is going to be a mid-year check-in. My apologies in advance with people playing on the park today. I didn't think people were going to play some pickleball energized this afternoon. I left my tripod, so my setup for the camera is the best that I can do right now because I walked over here today, had a little walk-in. Well, I will be doing some watercoloring today. Gifted to me a long time ago, probably 3 years, maybe more now. While I'm doing that, I'm going to be having some matcha here outside featuring FKRO Matcha. Thank you for sending me this over FKRO's Monio. I'll be having it with soy vanilla milk. I hope my ice stayed as ice because I did come to the park with all the equipment, with all what I need, the necessities of making a matcha. Tablespoon, mason jar of course, little Swifter thing, I don't know what it's called, glass for when I am making the matcha with hot water right here, hot water in this container, vanilla soy milk, not least the ice, and certainly not least the most important ingredient of this all is the matcha itself and a frother. Because unfortunately I don't have the actual ceramic setup just yet. My first time actually trying a matcha at home. Okay, I want you to hear this really quickly. I hope you can hear it. People are jamming out here. Can't get mad at them, they're living. Anyways, hopefully it doesn't distract you all from me having the mic close to my mouth. Right here with the water, oh my gosh, I smell it so quickly. I hope the water is still warm enough to throw off, so let's do that quickly. Okay, now time for the ice reveal. Let's see, hopefully that it still remains ice. Gosh. This matcha really has like umami flavor. I didn't really know much of matcha, even though I like matcha. I don't know much of like the different taste. I've heard that there's some nutty, more nutty. There's some that's more leafy. This one has a little nuttiness taste now that when people actually said it, but it's not a strong nutty taste. I like the taste. Easy to sip, I would say, if you're not crazy about matcha of it being so greeny. Other than that, I do like it. It's matcha. I like matcha. And I have some at home now. So thank you again, FKRO. It's actually really tasteful. I tried it off camera multiple times and I really like the taste. And it's also from Japan. So that's cool. And this is a matcha powder. And it smells like matcha. Obviously, I have to experiment a lot more now that I have matcha that I can make at home. I have used it, maybe like 4 times now. This is my 4th time using it. There's still a good amount inside the container that was provided. Definitely check out their website if you do plan on trying some matcha or you're already into matcha and you want to try a new company. My inspo for today's watercoloring is going to be this bug right here. That bug, I mean to say a bee and a flower. Something simple but something cute for the first page of my watercoloring. And it comes to colors, so I didn't bring any paint with me. I hope it still works because it's been many years since I never used it. My highlights. I want to start off this video by the past 6 months of 2026, my highlights for each month. I believe that my year has been busy. There are times where I feel like I am not busy enough for certain things, And these are just positive highlights of my months that did go well, what I thought was growth for me, and proud of myself for doing, because I really think that this year, especially this summer as well, that I took the initiative of actually going outside. I've always been an outside kid, and growing up into adulthood, I'm 20 years old, that I still do, but I don't have a resourceful car at the moment that I have access every time, like availability 24/7. And I started to not fear being outside, being intentional with actually going to places. And even if that's just being like going to the beach, tanning, going to the park, for instance, today, having the free will and the audacity. January was the highlights of finding out last term that at a meeting for college, that my club, we actually won 3rd place for a club Olympics. Basically a competitively friendly competition where clubs, whichever events you attend, they're worth major points. Some are like to 10, I think 30. Biggest event that you can earn points is 50 points, and is worth each person. I was really proud of that in that moment, because we were a fairly new club, and I was like, I want to make an effort, and we did, and then we ended up receiving something. I will say, heading into 2026 of January, to start conversating more. I never had so much of an issue socializing or like social awkwardness, but there was a point where I started secluding myself, one of the words, and I would just keep myself too much, which isn't really the best for me, because I am a bubbly and semi-extroverted person and personality, and I like socializing. It's just I'm very selective when I do so, when it comes to a day-to-day basis. February is where I had the most amazing time of setting foot into 2026 with good intentions, which I decided to go and purchase my ticket to attend the West Palm Beach Palm Tree Music Festival with Calvin Harris, Kaiko, and funny enough, someone who I didn't really hear their music, but I ended up gravitating and actually enjoying their music when they showcased for their time for that event. It was Bunt, and I fell in love. I loved the experience. I really do like music festivals now that I've actually went. And I went with a cousin of mine, and I don't really see her often. And I'm really glad I spent Valentine's Day, on Valentine's Day, to that event, feeling good and not really worrying about a guy, or just actually enjoying the time spent there. And I didn't know she liked EDM music. I mentioned it, and I'm so glad that I did that. That was like the biggest highlight of February for me of this year. I started collaborating with clubs for school, because that was a thing that was brought for us to do, and that actually went through. We started collaborating. I started fundraising for the club too, to earn money for any races that we wanted to sign up for. And another little highlight I would say is actually doing a solo travel. My first time doing my own solo travel. Oh my gosh, it was so cool an experience. It was in New York City. It was for a friend that I had known since middle school. I was like, you know what, why not? We've talked about it, like not just her and I, another friend of ours, and I'm like, I want to do it. I did it. The experience was crazy of going here, going there, Ubering, and I really did enjoy it. Experienced New York in the cold, and just kind of seeing the university where she attends, Fordham. And I guess that highlight too, mainly the solo traveling, is the curry that I ended up eating the last night that I was there, which was curry with lamb chops. It was an Indian cuisine, really yummy. So home felt like meal. I loved it. I'll say there was delays for that trip because it was only a 3-day, but it extended to 5 because airlines were being canceled during that time because of the blizzard. So I experienced New York all around for February. I also have some sushi here to enjoy while I watercolor and drink my matcha. This is salmon grilled sushi. Love, obsessed with it. And spicy mayo and eel sauce, I believe. Not soy sauce, eel sauce. 10 out of 10. Now, March was honestly, I felt like the time of my life because I went skydiving. And I went skydiving. Oh my gosh, the lighting is so bad. March was the time of my life because I went skydiving with strangers and I had the best time doing that. I wouldn't have asked a better way of skydiving. Another story, if I even had another story of my first time skydiving. Skydiving with strangers was so adrenaline rush, but like a good feeling. And funny enough, the person who had asked me, their birthday was coming soon and they're actually doing it for their birthday. And we did it on their exact birthday. Now, I was planning to do it when I was 21. Wasn't planning on doing it this year or when I was 19. So, because it was 2 days before my birthday, I was like, you know what? The person who I was originally going to do skydiving with, I don't think they're really up for it, and I feel like they're going to bail on me again, and I just didn't want to deal with that disappointment, especially on my actual birthday, and not really having a group of doing skydiving. Like, I'm okay with doing certain things alone, but to do that alone, I really wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. But maybe I would have just, they would have put me in another group when it's their session of doing so. Anyways, that happening, them opening, DMing me of like, oh, like your birthday's soon, or what are you gonna do? And they're like, hey, if you want to go skydiving, like, do you want to do it? I'm like, that's so funny because I had the idea of doing skydiving. And yeah, so it ended up happening. I loved it, and even being around their friends and them, like, during that time, it was great. I loved it. They're also Hispanic, and I really honestly felt like I was welcomed, not being fluently speaking Spanish. Some were Honduran, so it was pretty cool meeting other Hondurans as well. And then just friend group. That was the highlight of March. Skydiving with strangers was amazing. I decided to buy my ticket, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I want to do this. This is how I'm actually taking up my life and who I want to become, and actually doing things for myself. And I was 19 when I did it. But now, 2 days after, when I was 20, and I am now 20 years old, I'm like wanting to live life the fullest I can, because 20s are the important chapters of developing of who you want to be. And then also, March, my birthday, 20th birthday. It's when I turned 20. Sorry for the kids, no. Give me 1 second. I started hanging out with people, and it was good. I actually went to this wellness company that's called Sip and Shine. Sip and Shine, they actually sent me the message in January, and I knew I was pretty busy in January, and I wouldn't have as much access to head over to their place to check it out, because basically they DM me, hey, we would love for you to have one of our, let's say, smoothies or energy drinks, and it'll be on us. And their energy drink, it's not like energy drink like Red Bull, Celsius, like it's actual like healthy, beneficial products. During that time, I will get into it more, a little bit of like what happened throughout kind of the months that wasn't as happy or set point, or learning to readjust certain things when it comes to going from a destination to plan A to plan B. Anyways, that time I didn't have a resourceful car to use. My mother's car broke down. I went to Sip and Shine and, hey, where's the address? Because it didn't look as real, I will say. Like, my first impression was like, is this like a legit place? Like, I don't know, the address I put in, it's kind of showing me like an actual like neighborhood instead of an actual like spot. I decided to take on the opportunity because that was an opportunity in January, and they said anytime, and I messaged them, like, and they hearted my message when I said I would like to go, and I'll let them know when I end up doing so. The person who was in there, she told me that they actually don't do that. That was just a promotional message that they were doing during that time, because I basically spent my time going, and I didn't want to just come out empty-handed. That's just like, well, I'll still serve you something. And it was one of their teas, and their teas, it was hibiscus something. I wanted it to match my outfit, because how I thought of it is like, listen, I have a platform, and I like modeling, being photogenic, and the outfit I had, which was a sports fit, it was white and pink. I was like, I went on their page and I checked out what drinks they have. I'm like, oh, the pink one will match me. Ended up not having a pink one. I had like a yellow kind of one, and it still matched the kind of vibe because this was in March, so spring colors. So I'm like, perfect. And after that, I chatted away with her. I shared, again, listen, closed mouths don't get fed. And I took that as, okay, I'm me. I need to get comfortable in basically selling myself, and selling myself as in so who I am and what I stand for and what I do, and conversate as a normal human connection. And so I shared that I have a run club, and guess what? That opened a door for me during April, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And hearing her story of how she got into wellness, because I'm into that. I'm into wanting to know, because it's something physical related. Yes, I am pursuing a nursing career. I'm pursuing the nursing medical field, but also there's just so much creativity in me that I don't know if that's something I'm like set out to do, set in stone. But I'm gonna have to try. I have fear of, I'm kind of going on a tangent right now, but a fear of like really sitting down, memorizing every little thing of the anatomy and every little like words you need to know. And anyways, yeah, so it's related to that. So I heard her story, and guess what? I was invited to go to one of their runs, the events that they're having. And I'm like, wow, me taking the opportunity, the chance of actually doing something, going out to have the free sip and shine tea. It was good. It was healthy. It's very tasteful. Marches after that time, I was like, okay, I'm still going to be doing my content. I like doing it because it's something fun I've always liked doing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be consistent however I can, my ways that I've done this for a long time. Like I'm telling you, I didn't have a phone in high school for a long period of time. Even middle school, I did have one phone, but I found my ways around. I would use my mom's phone literally to do my social media things, like what I liked doing. I did not want to feel like I'm being stopped or something, that it's literally like eating inside of me. Is when I was taking content seriously, passionately, and focus based more on Instagram, though I kind of stopped YouTube a little bit. But Instagram, I was starting to get much more of a groove. A lot of things happened in March, surprisingly. I felt like sometimes I feel sad on my birthday, honestly. Like being so serious, I feel sad at times when it's my birthday. Something always happens, and I didn't want that for this time around, her actually celebrating something. Even if it wasn't on my birthday, it was before my birthday, which was the skydiving. I was happy that I did so, and did it with other people, not just family, because I don't think it's just family. Family is there with you for sure, yes, like someone who's going to be having your back, but also like a social life where I can have people to hang out and do things with, and like have a good time, not have a good time with drinking all the time and all this other stuff. I don't drink personally, so I don't really like to be around in that as often. And if people I have or know that they do drink, like that's not their personality. That's something I dislike so much, but that's a different topic. I went on a date and we went Escapology. I went to Escapology. That was a pretty highlight of March also. Nothing too crazy, but Escapology, I like the feeling of working as a team and actually doing something, and actually making my critical thinking, like my critical brain side, actually do what it has to do. So I was happy about that. Opportunities started opening up in March, which I was happy about. I was using more time, like I said. Now April, the highlight was dyeing my hair. I dyed my hair like the ending of April, so that was a big change, something that I did. I've never done that before. My first time fully blown out dyeing my hair. Spring Award banquet for my run club. We earned, out of every club, there's like 3 awards that you can earn, but out of every like campus that's for the school. And so we earned the excellence in service for running certain runs, and it was like a wow moment. Like I'm glad like I took on the chance, because there's no actual sports team at my community college as of right now. I opened up a run club and have kind of a community to do things with, have that space, because I want that space, and I wanted it, so I created it, and in order to want it, I started doing dance collabs. It was so good. I did a dance collab. I want to do more dance collabs further into 2026. I went to Dominican Republic to travel with, and got to spend time with family, which was a good little reunion. We haven't been there in years actually. Normally we go at times. I socialized, I did content, I tried to do content while I'm also on traveling. April was preparing for growth. That's what I would say, preparing for growth. So since my camera overheated, this is what I started with just now for the watercoloring. It looks pretty good. Now that I have finished the watercoloring, my camera was overheating, so I couldn't really record while I was doing it, but I did record the process, and this is the final result. Look how cute that is. It's so cute. It's a bee flying over a flower, half of a flower. It looks so cute. I love the color contrast of it. This is the first page of my gifted watercoloring sketchbook. Now that my camera has kind of cooled down, I think I stopped in April. Basically, April was Dominican Republic, traveling with family, spent time with them, even family members from DR, which was a good moment. And dance collab, I did a dance collab with someone who dances and has a good platform who also likes to dance. I really do think April was preparing myself for growth and just trying to continue being consistent. Oh my gosh, these girls are like crazy. I know, relax. Relax. I need to record. Relax, Daya. Goodness, relax. I need quiet. Just go over there. I'm almost done, Day. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Now for May. For May, the biggest highlight was Ping Pong Puff pop-up event in Miami. That was crazy. It was 12 hours waiting for a hoodie that was exclusive for Meet Me in Miami, and it was insane. I would say I would do it again, which I mentioned in my video. May was where I did the Die dance challenge of Shakira. That helped my YouTube page of the supporters. I really did enjoy doing the dance. I love fulfilling a dance that has energy, that you bring energy to. Also, it's noticeable on screen, like you can see it. And I just love having that contrast. The pivotal point for my channel, for my YouTube channel, of that short that I did of the dancing, I really do want to do more long form. So that was just reminding myself like what I bring, like my personal, my authentic own enjoyment and my ability to share. Even if it was just a dance challenge, it really highlighted what I do and what I like doing. I really love that I decided to share it, even if it wasn't the best with my hair being curly. Something with my hair not exclusively volumized and curly. I was tired that day. I didn't look the brightest, but I still danced and I did execute it and still share it online, and it ended up blowing 1 million views. That's insane. That's crazy. Even though that's maybe not the audience that's going to support me forever, but it did highlight something that I showcased and that I like doing. I watched my siblings perform and their accomplishments during May, because that's when school was ending for them. So it was really good seeing my own siblings do something. I'm okay with doing certain things alone because I know I bring the energy at times where I'm like, okay. And even if I go to an event alone, there's gonna be at least one person who's gonna bring out good energy that I would gravitate towards, communicate with them during that day, during that time of the event. Even if maybe afterwards, like I don't get their media or don't get their phone number, and like actually, like it's just in that moment sort of thing. I believe in May, that's where I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, and that was a stone, like a mini milestone that I wanted to accomplish, because there was a point where I had more community and more followers on Instagram, but I just went in a rabbit hole that I just removed everybody. So getting back to that groove with the same account, I didn't want to create a new account specifically for that, because I love my username. That's something I came up with, and I'm glad that I started becoming more consistent with it. And June, the biggest highlight, I would say, because it's kind of the ending of July now, I would say June, halfway, the beginning of June. I'm making sure my sisters. June, I had a great start of it, like the 2 weeks of June. And then I started losing a bit motivation, but I would say I was starting to lose. I think this is where I had to reflect again, resuscitate, like, what am I doing, and like what have I been doing. I went to Premium Orlando with a person. It was a cool experience going there. It was awesome. And then the server, actually, the highlight of June, there was this server at Fat Boys located in Fort Lauderdale. His name's Wee. Oh my gosh, best customer service ever. Like, him being a server or / host, I took that as an inspiration to, like, when I have a part-time job of doing that in that field, or just in general. Businesses, companies started reaching out to me little by little. It just goes to show that this is for me. Like, I love this, and it's all about taking opportunities and the audacity, honestly. And I don't just say yes to all brands or all businesses that reach out to me. No, I do have my own morals. There are certain things that I do enjoy consuming, do enjoy liking, the styles that I wear, my own personal, like, style that I like. I'm trying to think of anything that I said no to recently. But, like, let's say, there was, like, it was a spam, though, a phishing kind of email. It was, like, in a dating app, which it seemed legit. It did look legit on TikTok, but you can tell the way that they market and everything, it's not. And again, dating on a dating app, like, you're not gonna find me doing that, especially, like, right now. Like, I'd rather just have a genuine, like, conversation with somebody. I wouldn't go on a dating app necessarily to do so. And, like, to promote that for my channel, for what I stand for, or what I'm trying to stand for, like, just myself, I'm not going to do that. That's not for me. So instead of replying because it was fishy, I just reported it as a phishing or scam email. Now we come to the month of July, because it's now the ending of July. So July, I would say the highlight was, again, Dai Shakira dance challenge, the Dai dance. And it was really impactful. I did it the second time once it was a final for Spain and Argentina. And I really love how me executing the energy that I just love. I'm very passionate when it comes to feeling the music. It's really just intertwining with it. And then the lyrics the lyrics are positive, and I love when there's positivity in a message of a song. It performed well, and I love giving that authenticity, and I love giving that energy back to an audience to basically showcase, and then it's reciprocated back. They also are in that field, in that moment, in that energy, that present of, like, oh my gosh, this is so freaking cool, like, oh my gosh, it's so vibey, like, I want to do it also, like, the inclusion in it, even if they're not actually doing the dancing, but they feel it and they're, like, in a happy mood. That's what I love about it. Much more of, like, with, like, force, because the first one I was doing it more like Shakira. Heard she doing it in the music video, because it wasn't as extravaganza. And I did it the second time doing so. You can, like, okay, pop off. I hosted a volleyball night, and I loved it. I did it with friends. I did it with people who I know who play volleyball. And it was good. It was a good time. It felt like back then when I was younger, my childhood, and just spending time with other people and having a good time. Like, really just focusing more of, like, being present, doing an activity, and having fun with it, which was volleyball. And it was nice. Some of us brought some snacks. We ate it. We cherished the moment. We even met other people. Small circle. I gotten to see old faces that I haven't seen in years, which was people who I went to middle school with, who were in the same gym class as me years ago, and we played with them. So it was so cool in such a small world. The business workshop, at this point, because I felt so down halfway of June, down in certain ways of what I'm doing, and, like, to not really think, and, like, to let go of certain things, like, of past or just in general, I was reassessing. I have been reassessing of certain things, and actually take on what I want to do. I don't want to get too much into that until it actually happens. Obviously, we'll share a little bit of, like, the process when I do share that. I went to the gym, obviously. I've been consistent on YouTube, on TikTok. I kind of stepped foot away from TikTok for a long time, but then I started posting on my birthday, like, around March, and then April, but then May started a little bit more. And yeah, I like it. I have engagement on there. It's not my prioritized, like, platform. It's really YouTube, Instagram, and kind of Pinterest, because I'm getting into that. And I use Pinterest for life inspo. But I wrote here, what I wrote here for July and what I was basically reflecting and thinking of when I went to the business workshop of reassessing is life, to not fear failing, to not compare your unique story to someone else's. Create and do surround yourself in an environment with others who do better, and using inspo as fuel to achieve more in this life, their own / my own light to shed living. So it's kind of a full blown out run-on sentence, but how I understand it is that to not fear of failing. I've always kind of had a perspective of failing as like it's so bad, and you can't blame me because school kind of tells you like if you fail, like you're not gonna get anywhere in life. And there was some video that was going around online where like this man, he's like use failing as as something. There's a video about it. It talks about the school system with what he's talking about that. I went to the workshop. I'm thinking, you know what? I have so much stories. I have so much certain things that's more of emotional, intellectual than anything. And also my creativity. But just not to go based off like, oh, I have this, I have that. It's more of not being fearful. Because even though I can, yes, perform on a stage, I think I'll be doing a part 2 of this kind of video because it is very long. I haven't even got into what drains my energy this past 6 months and what problems keep repeating. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and hype this video up. You can follow my socials, dayx.linda, and also Daylean Sky, and also Daylean Sky 06. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video.